So how many years have passed?
What do you mean? Literally, we started this with the date lessons. It's been a couple of months. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Legend of the Galactic Heroes. We come back as we normally do with notes and a board, so let's go ahead and look at that board first thing. Where the board changelog is that I marked Kerchase and Ansbach as dead. I added Rupert Kisserling, and then I marked Lichtenlade as dead. They suggest he should kill himself, then he appears in the episode Fade Out with everyone else that's died. So I think that's confirmation that he didn't die.
Yeah. Pretty much. Kerchase. I have a lot of notes about him. Well, actually, I don't have a lot of notes, but most of the notes have to touch about what happened to Kerchase, which is basically the gist of
You're
the
saying
episode,
that in the episode where Kerchase died, you had a lot of notes regarding Kerchase? Who would have guessed?
So let us begin.
You know, I'm being sarcastic, but the element is that much of my notes are about Oberstein. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, him too. So they murdered Reinhard consciousness. No, not consciousness.
Yes, from this point forward, Reinhardt will be unconscious.
It's another word that's very similar to it. Conscience, not consciousness. Now, Oberstein is free to appeal to all Reinhardt's worst impulses.
Well, to be fair, Oberstein says that too.
Yeah.
You know, when the light fades, the darkness grows. He's conscious of what's happening too.
And doesn't mean it's right, though.
It is what's right. Oberstein is not. My problem here is that I feel like, wants to paint Oberstein as a bad character. Oberstein is not unaware of what's going on from the element that he's not trying to be a bad guy.
He's just justifying all the bad things.
He's not. Well, I guess he is. So the element is that he's very aware of what he is and what he needs to do. You know, he's the element of somebody has to do something bad around here to get some good stuff to happen. I guess it's gonna be me. Although I guess in this aspect, if you're being honest, he's like, somebody has to do something bad around here to get some good stuff to happen. I guess it's gonna be that guy. That's who Oberstein is in this aspect. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have to have a revolution to make some change, and Oberstein is the revolution guy.
Yeah, but I don't. Like I said earlier, it matters as much as how you do a thing than what you're trying to accomplish.
No, it's literally the counterpoint of the episode is literally against you. I have a note about that. Obviously, I would be surprised if you didn't have a note about that.
Yeah.
Oh, so funny. My first note. One last shout out for my boy Oberstein for putting himself in front of a rocket to protect Reinhardt. Think what you will of the man's actions. He's ride or die for the guy he works for. That's more than you can say for when he served under Sect, who he just left to die.
Yeah, well, I mean, physical courage and moral courage aren't necessarily the same thing.
Yeah, I believe he's actually got more courage on the moral front, in that he's doing what he knows is visibly wrong to everybody else, to the point that he's ostracizing himself from everyone to do what he thinks is required. Oberstein is the embodiment of pragmatism. Again, he's my guy. I would have been drawn at him, except the fact that when we draw our characters, our heads are the things that really only change. You put my head on Oberstein's body, he looks like everyone else. Guess I could have been drawn as robot eyes.
My next note. This episode does suffer from an ongoing problem with the series, plot hammering. That is, this shouldn't have happened considering the security around this meeting, including disarming Kerchase before entering room, no guards inside, no scan of the body, nobody jumped to tackle the assailant with Kerchase.
No, it's fine. I mean, I rallied against it, but it's consistent. The same way that they smuggled all those weapons onto Iserlon. If this dude got caught, I'd be like, well, what the fuck? They did it at Iserlon, why not here? The fact that they're just doubling down on it now, you know, it'd be like if you wrote something really stupid in your first novel, and it got really fucking famous, and then you tried, like, oh, fuck, I can't be that stupid anymore. I'm like, this is a famous novel series. No, your fans expect it. You gotta keep pulling what you pulled the first time.
You think somebody will learn? Like, yeah, how that's not happen? Okay, we're not gonna do that.
You're acting like, you understand, we got like almost 200 characters on the board now, right? Somebody would learn. Maybe somebody did. maybe that guy is on the fringes of the Empire now. That guy did learn. Unfortunately, the element here is that not everybody learns the same lessons. Also, they don't talk to one another. This is a 25 billion large empire. At this point, I'd be worried that Reinhardt might start blaming some of his subordinates for Kircheis's death, in so much for their lack of response. Kircheis was in the same row as they were, and he crossed the distance in about 6 seconds of shock to get the job done on holding down Ansbach. They not only took another 15 seconds before Stormwolf Mittermeier, known for reacting quickly, just said something. It took them 8 more seconds to even reach him, which means that Kircheis was spraying blood at high pressure from his jugular for 5 seconds. That's not great, but not a death sentence just yet. Instead of rendering him aid, they crowd around Ansbach. We see 8 people circling, not including Kircheis himself. The largest number of people you can have try and subdue a person on the ground and be effective is 5, according to FBI training manuals, leaving 3 people to possibly see to Kircheis, namely, applying pressure to his wound, monitoring his health, and going for help. Instead, 3 of them weakly restrain Ansbach, and 13 seconds later, Kircheis has a handkerchief lightly applied with the softest of touches to the site of the bleeding. His blood pressure at this point having dropped low enough as to cause the blood to simply ooze out from the wound. Still another 7 seconds before anyone even calls for a doctor. Kircheis didn't have to die. The ineffectual response of those around him certainly helped him on his way, though. And while Mittermeier actually did try to help, who knows if his light dabbing of Kircheis's neck prevented someone who would have actually applied compression from getting in there.
We had plot hammering. The plot called for Kircheis to die, and he did. I mean, it's more plot hammering, you know. This is the episode that Kircheis dies, and this is how it's going to happen. No matter what, it's going to happen.
Again, it's just a room full of people, and one guy reacts in 6 seconds, and the other ones react within like a quarter of a minute, and nobody knows first aid. Again, the wound
these
that
are all
he had,
combat veterans, by the way. All of them are
the
combat
wound that
veterans.
he had certainly could be deadly, right? But the element is compress that shit, get a doctor in there, get him into specialized surgery as quick as possible. You can stitch up a wound, a jugular wound. A jugular puncture, a jugular cut isn't itself immediately deadly. They could compress that, prevent him from bleeding out. Loss of blood pressure immediately would have been the biggest thing. The dude, handkerchief. That's nothing.
Yeah.
He's clearly bleeding out past that, and also he's like using the very tip. Like you can imagine the pressure being applied by that.
I mean, the one thing that could happen is that you drown in your own blood, basically, because of the blood.
No, because he wasn't cut through the esophagus; he was cut right out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've literally got the same kind of wound he fucking has, so I can literally show you. Because literally, they did cut through my jugular when they were applying, when they were going through all the next shit. So, yeah, he wasn't. There's a lot of distance between here and here. Also, I remember I couldn't eat solid foods for a long time because they also cut into my throat to do all that shit, and that had to heal up. So they didn't want me doing like you're describing. So yeah, no, he was not in any. Also, not for nothing lessons. He was talking. They would have given him like a, the often famous blood bubble. They would have given him one of those.
Gargling on your own blood, yeah.
Also, probably some blood coming out of the nose because it's a shared passage.
Nose, ears, eyes, even. They're all connected.
Yeah, I guess. No, sorry, I was just thinking about the element of, when somebody laughs hard enough to get milk coming out of their nose. That famous thing happens in elementary school. The element that I don't know how much effort it would take to get blood to come out your tear ducts.
Eyes. Yeah. The next note is pretty short. Reinhard crash out is understandable considering how close the two of them were, including imagining an entire conversation with Kircheis while he was already dead.
I mean, I still disagree with you.
Well, that was a conversation that
they really had a conversation, yeah. The blackout was because it's the focus. These are the two most important people in the universe right now. We're going to focus on by blacking out everything. Nothing else matters except for this. So, yeah, I don't believe it was imaginary. I don't believe there was any implication that he had passed before the conversation happened. Because he doesn't stop breathing, he doesn't, like, close his eyes. Nothing indicates that he is passed on before the blackout happens and we have the conversation. And then we get a very clear, he closes his eyes and passes away. I don't think it was ever a doubt in my mind that just about any of these characters could die, including our main characters. But 26 out of 110 episodes just feels way early for Kirchheis. I mean, Jessica dying when she did felt the same way. I don't know. In the parlance of shows that we watched together here on the channel, that'd be like if Athrun had died around episode 13 of Gundam Seed.
Yeah. Like, oops.
I say episode 13 because if you, like, boil it down, it's like episode 13 would be out of a 55 episode run, which is Gundam Seed and Seed Destiny are 50 episode runs, so that would pan out.
Mm-hmm. About a fifth of the way, basically. Yeah.
Well, you know, if Athrun had died in episode 13 and Lacus had died in episode 10.
Now this is going to be a chunky note. And of course, Oberstein exploits the situation by directing the admirals to take down Lichtendale on nothing more than hearsay from Hilda. Lichtendale. I always mess that up.
I don't actually know if I'm saying it right either. That's the one I've gone with for the last 26 episodes.
Yeah, the best way to reform the Empire is to do exactly what the Empire did so many times, you know, the very thing that made the Empire need reforming in the first place, including the murder of children just in case they might one day seek revenge. I think those changes would deserve justice, that it's an investigation of their family members' charges and their clearing of their names, but that was not going to happen.
Well, because you're an idiot. You're one of the people we have to kill.
Why? Because I demand justice?
There's definitely, by the way, I want to address this just for the audience. I see that there's a discrepancy between when Lessons talks and when his mouth is moving. So just know that that's a known thing. It's driving me crazy. I'm watching your mouth as you talk. You're saying why? Because what you just said, Lessons. That's why. You are obviously calling for the thing that we're killing the kids for.
We shouldn't have killed the kids in the first place.
Yo, Evil Overlords List 101. You don't let people survive to get you killed later.
Oh, so now
also, Lessons, we've established this back in fucking Gaiden. You fuck up horribly, we kill your family.
You're supposed to be different. You're supposed to be fighting for a better empire. At least
these are the remnants of the past, Lessons. We have to clear out the past to make way for the future. You're like, no one is going to keep doing this shit. No, obviously they are. It's Mariendorf who warned us about Lichtenlade to begin with. You know what? Even the nobles that were on our side are going to plot against us too. You know, the cycle of hatred shit that we keep talking about in Gundam Seed? Well, now this is probably going to air when Gundam Seed's still airing on YouTube. The cycle of hatred. One answer might be to get rid of the people you hate.
So you do the thing that it's hateful in order to stop the hate?
Yeah, I mean, technically, what's his name? The piece of shit blonde-haired kid. The one that wanted to kill all of the... my problem is I'm mixing all of the Gundams in my head together now. The Space Noids, it's not the right one. Coordinators? Mm-hmm. His answer, as detestable as it may be, was an answer. If the people we hate no longer exist, then the focus of our ire is no longer there. Winning the war would be a solution. A solution, if you will. I'm not saying that it's the best call to make or a good call, but it is a call. Among shows that we've watched that are like, what's the solution to the human condition? Mm-hmm. You got to appreciate the ones that have an answer and not ones that don't have any answer. The element that the writers are just as smart as the rest of us. So the fact that humanity in all of our existence has never come up with a real reasonable solution, that the authors also couldn't come up with one. Well, I'm leaning on the ones who came up with solutions that people have tried in reality, and they were fucking horrible. But at least they're showing us something.
Yeah.
And I want to remind that this isn't my whole point. My whole point was the element that we're seeing something. And in this aspect, we're removing the old. We had to remove the Golden Bomb Dynasty because the Golden Bomb Dynasty is what created the Empire the way it is. Now we have to remove the vestiges that will resist any changes that we need to make made. And Lichtenlade is one of those, but also anyone that would come up to revenge Lichtenlade needs to be taken care of. And that is everybody that might come back in the next 20 to 30 years, because we have to have an eye for the future.
So we keep killing people until we're satisfied that no longer we need to kill people to change the killing ways of the Empire. That's what you're saying.
Again, this is why you're going to get killed, Lessons. One, because you are Lichtenlade in this position because you I guess are the threat that Lichtenlade presented. And that you're constantly arguing against the
But
authority.
justice is a threat to the empire.
Not justice. Remember, you don't always represent justice. We've established this pretty hard on that you will
Because
go.
I'm not calling for revenge.
No, I'm saying lessons in the parlance of all of our reactions. You like to frame yourself as justice, but you will act outside of the law to enact your own justice. You are more of a vigilante than I think you give yourself credit for being.
Well, if there's a clear failure of the law.
Yeah, see, there you go.
Right.
So you are not enacting
But
justice.
I don't see a failure.
You're not enacting justice. You are enacting your justice. So you are applying your moral standard, your ethical code to other people who have, I guess, disagreed with you. The element that we can't. How often have you said we can't let them get away with this? When everybody else,
Yeah.
I think we had this discussion again to see the element that what if the rest of the world decides to move on and we have established peace, but we have to let the horrible people who did the worst atrocities of mankind also just live with us. And you're like, we can't let them get away with that. So you're willing to propagate more hate and violence to make sure that people who did horrible things pay for their crimes. You've said that before, Lessons. I'm not even entering into debate on this. You've said it before. We've had those discussions. If you want to see those discussions, check out Gundam Seek Destiny. I'm pretty sure that's where the vast majority of them happen. I would also say check out our Universal Century Gundam watch list. However, I could not point out which shows that we had those discussions in. So get ready for a 250 episode ride, I guess. I'm just saying that that's who you are, and that's why I know if I was Reinhardt, I would have to kill you. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about this. You are a vocal opposition that is going to rally others to your cause. You are Lichtenlade's kids. I cannot have you around. At the same time, though, I've got a future note. I don't know that stuff actually happened. Reinhardt says something very confusing right near the end of the episode that makes me believe that he might not have actually done it. That he ordered it, but had something else happen. Again, there is still a difference between Reinhardt and Oberstein. There are two different characters for a reason. That Oberstein might do the most pragmatic thing to accomplish the task at hand. That Reinhardt is still his own character, though. He's not just a mouthpiece for Oberstein. So he might say, or the book, as per that one commenter pointed out, that Reinhardt may agree with Oberstein in a number of things. Doesn't mean he's going to do everything that he agrees with. I think this death served to express to everyone who Reinhardt really does and doesn't care about. They know that he's witnessed death before, but this was something else. As Mittermeier says, he wouldn't act that way if it were one of them. And the concern they have is that this may have destroyed the man they choose to follow.
A important and credible concern, yeah.
Well, it's like you go through the revolution with a guy, right? And he's been one way the entire time. But then the opposition plants an explosive, say, under his chair or something, and he survives. Ooh, good times. But his personality has been changed forever. Now he's a lot more vindictive about his enemies. And it's like, this isn't the guy who I signed up for anymore. It's his body. The person's still there, same voice. See the fire in his eyes. This isn't the thing I signed up for, though. So, yeah, that Reinhardt's personality may have changed forever. And I know the show wants to paint it as his other half is gone. So half of the input. But I disagree with that from the aspect that Reinhardt and Kerchase have been separated in the show for quite a while. That's why Kerchase has to come back and have a conversation about, hey, did you order this thing to happen? Like, I haven't been your conscience for a while. I stepped away for a bit. Did you let this happen? Because I wasn't here? And he hasn't really had a chance to come back, like, except for one hallway conversation. So Reinhardt has been his own thing for a while without Kerchase. Now there's just not going to be any Kerchase to ever pull him back.
My follow-up now to my own note. And yes, Lichtenlade was not completely innocent after all. He, in not so distant past, conspired with the very nobles that Reinhardt had to put down to have Reinhardt die on the battlefield, with the attending losses to Imperial forces to boot. But that doesn't make Oberstein's actions, or for that matter, Reinhardt's, justifiable, at least.
The problem is you're talking to the audience. You can't be talking to me, because you know what my opinion is.
Yes.
So yeah, so it's the other half of the thing is that I've long ago realized that I can't write my notes with the assumption that we're going to have an agreement because I'm coming at this from the pragmatic point of view. You're coming at it from moral and ethics. And I think that pragmatism is the immediate response, and moral and ethical concerns are the slow burn. You have to deal with the immediacy of an issue before you can deal with the long-lasting ramifications of an issue. People might turn on you over time due to your moral and ethical outlook and, in response to what you do. In the immediacy, an ally of an enemy is an enemy, right? Pragmatism is now, morals and ethics are for the look back.
I would argue perhaps that you're not as pragmatic as you think you are if you cause yourself problems in the long term.
Well, I also assume that you are assuming a God level of view. You have to be able to solve the problems in front of you, and if your concern is that you can't solve your problems without causing yourself future problems, then perhaps you're not considering the problems that are in front of you. If I have to spray my house with water to put out the fire, then my concern about water damage is very temporal. You have to be concerned about the fire first, water damage second. That's pragmatism.
Fair enough.
That was your note, wasn't it?
Your note, Dan. Yes, that was my note, so it's your turn.
Sorry, just making sure. I don't think I had anything else to say about your... All right, whatever. Power is justified not by how you acquire it, but how you wield it. Oberstein's move is to prevent another civil war and possible power vacuum by striking before it can happen and placing someone in power who they believe will change everything and act for the greater good. As we know to be Reinhardt's original plan, if Lichtenlade really was up to something, as per Mariendorf's message, then surely we would have found ourselves in another aristocracy versus Reinhardt situation all over again. Now, I'm against the idea that Lichtenlade would have been dumb enough to do so, but I see where Oberstein is coming from in this regard. The surest way to ensure change is to make certain that the only person able to enact it is given absolute authority to do so. Again, a point of view I would only share in an anime, not in the real world. I don't have a third-person God's perspective on what people are doing in the real world. Also, I live here. I don't live in the anime. Makes me a tad more invested in the outcome of the real world. Either way, the appointment to power enables the change of the old with an established meritocracy that Reinhardt has already been building amongst his own ranks. Executing Lichtenlade's male heirs is just Evil Overlords 101, trying to prevent the cycle of revenge that Reinhardt himself has been a part of all through Gaiden, the movies and last season. I'm calling this the season. I'm assuming that we're going to get a new opening, because I'm assuming this is going to be a new season, right? The justification for his power doesn't lie in its bloodlessness, but the order and stability that he'll bring. I had other thoughts I didn't include here. The element that a fair election does not make a good leader. And by the same token, an unfair election does not make a bad leader. That arguably you could say that having to fight your way to get to the position makes you more qualified to, I don't want to say own it, but to do it. That you had to struggle your way through a system makes you probably better acknowledgement of the system. It's just being carried through by a fair, democratic society. Like, I could have sworn I had a note here, but apparently I don't. The element that Job Trunicht is your example of playing the system fair. He was democratically elected. He's a horrible fucking person and a horrible fucking leader.
I mean, he's someone who exploited the weaknesses of the system, so that's...
You say that. We only have... Literally, all we see him doing is politicking.
And associating with terrorists. And
they still voted for him. Literally, how many dead? How many dead under his watch? People still vote for him. Legitimately, it's their stupid fucking society, but they're democratically elected, and goddammit, we're going to fight to keep them democratically elected. We're going to get the worst of the worst elected, because that's what we voted for, goddammit. So, yeah, the fact that you can coup your way into leadership and then be a good guy.
Hey, that's a big assumption, yeah.
I mean, there are historical examples of good dictators.
I don't believe in such a thing, but
there was the Roman farmer. It was granted dictatorial powers by the Roman Senate.
By the Senate.
Yes, but then he had full authority, and he wielded it, and then went back to his goddamn farm, because not every... Like, George Washington could have been a dictator if he wanted to. He had full authority, all power. Could have established, that the president was effectively a king. Gave it up after 2 terms.
Well, actually, the federal government at the time didn't have that much power, but yeah.
You say that, but he could have established. This is like the start of a nation. He could have established. It's just the idea that there are people in history, like, obviously, it's a 9 out of 10 scenario, right? 9 out of, well, probably 99 out of 100, or even worse. But the counterexamples are not invisible. They do exist. I would say the problem there is that dictator is just such a weighted word that it's like the good Nazi, right? There are examples, like, say, that Nazi that was in China that helped all the Chinese people out of that massacre, whose name just escapes me at the moment, that he was a member of the Nazi Party. He helped a bunch of non-Aryans, or whatever the fuck you want to say, a bunch of Chinese people that were being massacred by the Japanese. Good Nazi, right? It feels so wrong to fucking say, but sometimes it's just weird labels that you can apply to people.
So, like I said, we talked about this before, even in this video, so I'm going to say I disagree and move on.
Yeah, like I said, we come from 2 different standpoints. So, again, the element is always going to be that we can't say things and, like, say, obviously this, because, you agree with one sort of thing and I agree on a different sort of thing.
Which both of us, actually, I got called out in a recent video on YouTube for focusing too much on minutia.
I mean, I don't agree with that. I was going to bring that up to you too, but I didn't want to. I don't know. I guess if you're forgetting every time, there's another comment, I don't remember where, because I hid them from YouTube, because fuck those people. Getting on me being not too pedantic, but criticizing too much. I don't know the element. Essentially what the whole fucking channel is, right?
Yeah.
The whole note section. You go on about everything. Blah, 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 blah. It's like, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man. That's what this channel is. So also, I don't agree with, one, it's insane to say that you aren't going to give up a topic when I'm the one who goes on forever. But I saw that. It didn't make much sense to me either.
But there was a follow-up comment like, well, I don't like theta, but I like lessons. And I'm like...
Oh, I didn't see that one. Thanks for bringing that up.
It's a reply. It was a reply. It's like, and in capital letters, I don't like theta. Normal.
Well, I mean, because I'm pretty sure that your original, the comment you're talking about, also says that they don't like me, but you're the one who wouldn't get a topic or something. So it's
they didn't like me because I would focus too much, and you were saying, oh, but theta's the one that cuts it off. And I was like, I mean, we got it. It took us about a year for that to really happen, but sure.
I mean, I understand. I'm not here to. Going to lead into a joke that I was I'm not here to make friends joke, because I can't remember who put that sketch out. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make friends. Just 2 people just make friends, and I'm like,
yeah.
This is not the element. I'm not here to make fun, so I guess I'm not here to enter into some sort of parasocial contract with the audience.
Yeah.
Which is that joke that I was making before about whatever video I think with Gundam 00 or Bait, or are you talking about one of the commenters? Like me having a relationship with them.
Oh yeah. I think it was some Fate. Yeah.
It's like, what did we go in here? It's like, I'm not going to have a parasocial relationship with the comment section.
Yeah.
Because that's just not healthy.
No.
But at the same time, there's still the comment section. We interact. They're the audience, right? I often say this is like watching anime with a group of friends on a couch. It's just the comment section is like saying stuff in a very delayed manner.
No, the comment section is the person who's in the kitchen who goes like, hey, and so what happened over there? Yeah, no, that's the thing that happened. Okay, I'm going back to the kitchen. It's like, you're like,
not what I thought you were going to go with there.
Yeah.
Like, they're the friends in the kitchen saying, there's any chicks there, I want to do them.
I don't like that. Yeah. But more like they know what's happening because they already watched the show. And like, in episodes, like, yeah, whatever, just bring the drink, shut up,
Yep, you heard there. Lessons told the audience to shut up.
Joking.
Anyway, I think that was my note, so
yeah,
our is justified.
Down the line. Okay. My second to last note. It turns out that most of my notes are about Oberstein. Oberstein continues to manipulate Reinhard by going behind his back and contacting his sister. He probably coached her into leaving Reinhard's mansion, thus further isolating him from anyone who would contradict Oberstein's advice. And I would add that right now I feel that Oberstein is the biggest threat to Anna Rose.
I disagree. Maybe I don't. I don't think he's a threat, but I can see where you're coming from. Well, actually, no. I think you're wrong. I think that Oberstein would recognize that Anna Rose's death might completely destroy the guy that he's trying to back. So I don't think he's the threat to Anna Rose. Anna Rose is at threat because she's doing some stupid shit, and I disagree with you from the element that you think that Oberstein manipulated her or is manipulating Reinhardt through her. I don't think that's what's happening. I'm going to read my follow-up to yours because I got to leap ahead here to get to it. Oberstein's got some balls, telling Reinhardt the truth in the harshest way possible while Reinhardt is still grieving. The dude believes in what he believes in and does everything he can to ensure the future he's fighting for comes to pass. Whether you agree with him or not, that stands as truth. It is interesting, though, that even he was like, "You sure about the Lichtenlade family?" Though, I'll add, I went back and re-listened to it a couple of times because despite what he tells Ruenthal, it sounds like he's implying that he's letting them go. I've shed plenty of blood until now, and there will likely be still more as we go. The blood of the Lichtenlade family is a few drops. What's to be gained by adding it to all of the rest? It's just ambiguous enough to make me question. What's to be gained by adding it to all the rest, implying that he's not adding it to the rest, meaning he's not killing them? But I guess maybe that goes to your point that maybe Oberstein is manipulating him. Him, in his moment of lowest, says, "Kill the children." And Oberstein is like, "You sure about the Lichtenlade family?" And he's like, "Don't kill the children." In which case, that's a bonus point for you, I guess, for Oberstein. Good manipulation. Sorry, I thought this note had more about Anna Rose in it, because it starts with Oberstein telling, the fact that the man is like, "Look, y'all are little shits. You're not going to talk to the man upstairs. I'll go talk to the man upstairs. In fact, I'll do fucking everything. I'm going to tell his sister what happened, and then I'm going to go tell him that I told his sister what happened."
And considering how sensitive he is about his sister, that took some guts.
Yeah, but remember, Oberstein is also the one that shows up there to turn the power off when she's about to be assassinated to help them save her. He's in the group. Like, you got to remember, he was in with Kirchheist and everything back then, even though they didn't much like him there either. He's helped save his sister. He's got like all the bonus points he needed to get to where he's at.
Well, my last note. Yang is right. When you fall into the trap of the end justify the means, you end up destroying the very thing that you claim to be saving.
Except for that 0.01% chance that the ends justify the means.
But he lives in the universe. He has the example of the Golden Bomb family that created the Empire and waged a war.
That's perfect. He has the example. Just don't do what they did.
He has no counterproof that now the new dictator of the Empire won't do the same. In fact, he's
I'm talking about Reinhardt's perspective. You're saying that Yang said this. I understand what you're saying. I'm saying that Reinhardt has the foreknowledge of everything that came before. So all he has to do is roadmap, not do what they did.
True, but we're talking about Yang talking about what Reinhardt's going to do. So he says, like, this is, and also commenting on what happened on his own side. Like, all these people claim to be saving what they believed in.
Rudolph and the NSMC are basically the same, and that they both believed in their own group to the point of doing what they did, thinking that they were in the absolute right. And, not for nothing. We don't know. Maybe Rudolph was in the absolute right when he first took power. We don't know. The element here is that obviously I feel like the story is going to go against Reinhardt. At some point, he's going to become Rudolph. He's going to become a horrible dictator. He's going to start doing good, and then hard choices are going to be presented to him, and he's going to slide down that slope. Obviously, that feels like, because given how much time we still have left, that feels like what must be coming. But the idea being that we don't know what Rudolph was going against when he established the Empire. When he tore down the Federation. Maybe he was fighting his own Job Trunicht, and that he was like a mixture of Yang and Reinhardt. That, oh no, I've got my duty to the state, which I love dearly, which is what is being implied by Yang, and that in his desire, that actually, no, he wouldn't be a mixture of Reinhardt and Yang. He would be, what's her name's dad? Who goes on to form the NSMC and then gets killed in a shootout with Lynch.
Yeah, I know.
Green something.
Green, yeah.
Greenhill.
Greenhill, yeah.
Yeah, that he's more like Greenhill, who thought he was doing the right thing, taking power away from those that were democratically elected because of their abuse of said power, to then try and create a state that was better for, I guess, not everyone, because he took he took benefits away from people, which is not good. But I guess for the protection of those same people, though, he was going to funnel the benefits for the people into the defense of the people. So I don't know, it's a give and take. But the element that you could see where it comes from a good place, despite how bad it was. Like, he didn't want the attack on the people in the stadium. He even told that guy, simmer it down. Do not do what you will eventually do. It's just, he's surrounded by people who are a lot more militant in that than he was.
Radical.
So he's Rudolph could basically have been Greenhill, and just, we see, for the element that this is all in the past, the slippery slope that Rudolph fell down. That, I guess, the story is just going to be another absolute power corrupts absolutely. Again, the element is that Reinhardt wants to make change for the betterment of the Empire, to not be, so nobody else has to grow up the way that he grew up. Which, again, contrary to a previous note that I said, he is letting people live of a certain age to then challenge him later. He even says that to Ruenthal. If at some point you want to come for the throne, bring it. Which, not bad. I appreciate that. It's not great for stability of an empire, but at the same point, it is like, if ever you have a vote of no confidence, make that vote.
Mm-hmm.
I have to be doing my best at all times to make sure the people I don't want to turn against me don't turn against me.
Well, those were my notes. I think you have more.
Oh, yeah. Looking at the map we see for the journey from Odin to Geiersburg, sorry, it's the other way around, from Geiersburg to Odin, it looks like Geiersburg was outside of everything, just beyond the edge of the map that we'd seen before. Based on the length of the line, it looks like they would imply it's just slightly over 21-day journey to reach Iserlohn from Odin. Just as a note, as this reminded me of it, back when I thought it was feasible to keep track of locations on a map, like after having already gone through all of Gaiden and forgetting to do so, I had come across a couple of maps that suggested that the Empire and Alliance are just on different arms of the Milky Way. That's why there's this giant gap between them. That it's like empty space made inaccessible for some reason. I guess maybe based on their need for systems to jump to, just how their navigational systems work. I'll finish the note and I'll continue that other thing I was thinking of. Either way, Iserlohn Corridor and Fezzen are just two overlapping points across those arms. Also, Imperial territory would be on the outer arm, and the Free Planets Alliance would be the inner arm, closer to the Galactic Center. What I was just thinking there is, did you play Stellaris?
Yes.
Did you play it back when it first came out?
No.
Back when it first came out, you had different modes of transportation you could choose from when you first started your Empire. You had wormhole travel, you had like hyperlane network sort of thing, so you had to like go from one planet to the next and establish the lines between them. And there was another one which basically just allowed you to go wherever the hell you wanted. And each of them had different trade-offs. Like wormhole, you had to like sit there, form a wormhole, then go through it, so your fleet would just like sitting for a place for a while before it disappeared and then reappeared somewhere else. Going wherever you wanted was slower versus going lane to lane and everything like that was faster. This is like the lane to lane one, which is you have pre-designed travel between different stars, but you can only go that way. You can't jump off the lane to go wherever the hell you want. And not for nothing, Stellaris also had galactic arms sort of thing. So you could have like a whole swath of stars this way, and another whole swath of stars here, and a big old empty spot that you could go through. So it just very much reminds me of that, and it makes sense if true. Don't you know that proof isn't required to accuse one of a crime in this empire? Lichten Lade seems genuinely surprised to hear that, making me think that this isn't actually a thing and is being used against him now for the purposes of this new empire. It's either that or it's been true for most, but Lichtenlade never encountered it as a noble before.
I think it's the latter. Because we have talked about this sort of duality of justice where the nobles could even talk shit about the Kaiser and not really get into trouble. But if you didn't have a picture of the Kaiser up in your house or were seen and fallen, whatever, that could be a capital, could be dragged, you could get dragged away, right? So my guess is that the nobles have the benefit of at least show me some proof, right?
I mean, I certainly prefer that one over the other. I would prefer that we're not indicating that immediately we're going to, we can just accuse you of anything. We're going to kangaroo court this entire shit. I would prefer that they're just establishing that, no, your noble right has been taken away from you. Basically, there's only one noble family, and their name is Mariendorf, as they negotiated ahead of time. Although I guess technically we'd have to say the lohengramm is still a noble family too.
Yeah. Well, all those who sided with Mariendorf, in theory, they still have their title.
You mean sided with Reinhard?
Yeah, Reinhard, yeah.
Because remember, Mariendorf even said you're going to have those negotiations separate from this one. You say that, but it feels like the idea is that Mariendorf was warning him, hey, Lichtenlade is getting together with those aristocrats that sided with you. And now they're like, can't be having that. Yeah. Again, I'm still against the idea that Lichtenlade was guilty of anything.
This time around.
Well, yeah, I don't care about past crimes. I mean, if they wanted to, they should have brought him up on those. But technically, not crimes, really.
No, because he was doing it on, like I said in my note, he was doing it under the auspices of the Kaiser. So,
I mean, he wasn't. He was doing it under his own auspices. Well, I guess technically he was doing it under the auspices of everyone else that was already ganging up on Reinhard. The Kaiser didn't have anything to do with it. The Kaiser was always like, isn't that interesting? All right, back to the flowers. He was the Grey Kaiser. Remember, he didn't give a shit about any of this. He's like, well, we're going down. Pass me the trimmer.
Yeah.
Read that one. Not the greatest move on Anna Rose's part. Move out to the country. The last place someone tried to kill her at. Less defended as well, as Reinhardt becomes even more of a target. Not going to be shocked if we find out Anna Rose is the next to die. I just disagree with your point that you said that you think Oberstein is going to be the architect of that. I disagree because Oberstein wants Reinhardt to be in a leadership position, not going crazy or mad. I would think Oberstein is going to get like a security detail for Anna Rose.
Makes sense.
Also, he had the opportunity. Remember, he was out there in the country before when she was about to get killed. And my last note. So when we saw Rubinsky's new assistant, we both got confused and thought that he was Leopold Schumacher. Schumacher. This is my Lichtenlade. Schummacher. Schumacher.
Yeah.
Schumacher. Anyway, the blonde guy that defected to Fezen from the Lipstadt rebels. Well, that wasn't him. This is just a new guy called Rupert Kerseling. We both thought it was the other blonde guy. Not him. We haven't seen him again. This is just a brand new dude.
Could be from the Church of Terror.
I mean, we have no information. This is our first time ever seeing him. I should reference the fact that when we watch an episode, when I do my board stuff, I go back to the wiki for the show, and it typically has a listing of all the characters that appeared in the show, so I know that I don't miss anybody. However, it's been not so great. Like, there's been characters that have been like, this character appeared in this episode. I've watched this twice now. That character's not in this episode. Like, unless they were like, oh, where's Waldo? Like, head in the background. Like, I didn't see them.
Could be.
But anyway, that's how I know that this guy is not the guy that we thought it was. This is just a brand new guy, first appearance.
Castle Ring.
Well, no, because I even looked at them. I opened their page. Like, I didn't read anything about them other than the fact is I opened their page and I Googled, I searched Leopold. Just to say, oh yeah, that's what he changed his name from Leopold to, like, did he just name change? No. Brand new guy. He's got his own life. He's got his own story.
Well then, that does all the notes.
Yeah, I'm just surprised how much stuff I thought that I wrote down, but I didn't. I must have just thought. Also remember that sometimes a lot of my time is spent in the timeline. Although even there, I only just added Ansbach attempts to kill Reinhardt. Kerchase is killed in the attempt. I should have put down Lichtenlade died too. 488. It's funny. We watched Modao Shi before this. We get some time jumps that aren't even told to us, and then some that are just massive. And here I've got this like, okay, in July this happened, in September this happened. Hell, I've got a 7 years from now, Reinhardt said that this would happen by this date, sort of thing. Well, it's currently 488. 495, Reinhardt von Lohengramm imagines the date he will conquer the galaxy. So he's got 7 more years to live up to that one.
That's another thing where, like, you could just argue for peace with the Free Planets Alliance.
Could you? I don't think you could.
I mean, if you want to reform the Empire, you don't want to be spending all those resources trying to fight off the Free Planets Alliance.
Well, for one thing, we still acknowledge them that they're as rebels.
Yeah.
So we can't negotiate from the point of view that would
validate them?
Yeah, sorry, I couldn't think of the word. I was like, justify them. Like, no, that's not the word. Yeah, so we can't establish them as, we can't negotiate with them as governmental policy because that would establish them as what they claim to be. I would also argue that there would nothing would come of that.
Yeah, because they're fanatics on the.
How many times have we seen Yang talk about it? Jessica, maybe I think talked, because she was part of the peace party. She talked about it. Everyone that's ever talked about peace has, besides Reinhardt, not Reinhardt, Yang, died.
Yeah.
Hell, even on the Empire side, it kind of felt like Kerchase was up for it. Where's Kerchase now?
Dead and buried.
Yeah, so the element is that I think the greater sentimentality, like the people seemed like when the NSMC took over, it felt like when the announcement was being made for we're going to take away these things that the government gives you for the benefit of the military to then fight the Empire and ensure your safety. When we got man on the street view, like the mother and her child, didn't fucking care. I mean, obviously there was a bunch of people that didn't like the curtailing of their freedom, but the general announcement, like, whatever. So I guess the general sentimentality is that anti-Empire trumps pro-Federation, not Federation, Free Planets Alliance.
I mean, they also see it as an existential threat, right? We cannot survive as long as the Empire is there because the Empire is always trying to take us down. So it's like,
Well, the element that we've heard multiple times, we will sacrifice all of ourselves to save the people of the Empire. Right, so that's what I'm saying. Anti-Empire trumps pro-FPA. To be more about the Alliance is to be less against the Empire, which is not the point of view that the people in the FPA have. So there's never going to be any peace.
I mean, I think you could work it on peace, but it would be a challenge.
It would be political suicide. Job Trunick would never be like, well, let's start negotiating for peace. He would never get reelected.
Yeah.
He might get thrown out of office. He might get another coup. So I'm saying that it would never work. The people would be so against it, you would never have any will to do anything. All right, well, I guess with all that said, nothing left but to hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
On top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Is this a new song? Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah, I wasn't aware if it was going to be a new opening or where we're going to see something. Remember lessons.
Oh, this is German now.
Remember lessons.
English now,
that you have to talk over this still.
That's what I'm saying.
I know, but it seems like you're trying to appreciate it at the same time. Remembering that the YouTube audience can't see what you're seeing.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, Anna Rose is going to be alive for more than one episode. You can guarantee that by the fact that she's here stitching. Again, the problem, I'm with you here, Lessons. The problem is it's hard not to talk about it because we're seeing it for the first time.
Yeah.
Well, Mittermeier and Ruenthal and that guy whose name I can't remember. Also that one.
No guy.
And Pornstash. And that guy. Oh, I remember him. Oh, I remember him too. He was drunk. Fahrenheit?
Yeah.
We're all going to remember Fahrenheit and Stalin, Joseph Stalin, even though he's joined the German front.
Yeah.
By the way, welcome back to Shows About Faces. That's my guy.
Yeah. Oberstein.
Well, I mean, that's all.
Oh,
Look.
hey, she's dressed like a admiral?
This opening is at least evolved in that we've gotten faces plus crochet. Oh, we didn't even mention that in his locket he had Kerchase's hair.
Yeah.
You know, for eventually the cloning. As he always does.
帝国内に自らの地位を築いた。一方この戦いで同盟軍を全滅の危機から救ったのは歴史研究を志しながら心ならずも軍人になってしまったヤン・ウェンリーであった。ヤンはその直後に
So yeah, remember season 1.
13艦隊を率いて難攻不落と言われたイゼルローン要塞の奪取に成功。だがこのイゼルローン要塞を共闘補にした帝国領侵攻作戦は
was ill planned and ill
failure. Yeah.
同盟軍はアムリッツァ聖域の海戦で壊滅的大打撃を受けて敗退した。
We never actually hear about what happens to Lobos.
No.
He just fucking sucked and then retired? Like, I don't know. And then Lynch did something.
Yeah.
この策略を察知していたものの防止に至らず、その鎮圧に奔走させられる。その間に貴族連合軍を次々に破ったラインハルト軍は敵の本拠地
I could not imagine if you gave me like plot of the first 26 episodes. Hey, summarize this in 10 minutes. Even 10 minutes I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
It's too much.
再び最前線たるイゼルローン要塞の守りについていた。明けて宇宙歴798年
New year.
帝国歴489年未確認船舶軍捕捉数およそ1000隻約50分後に接触なんてこった敵さんこんなところまで出張ってきてるのかハッカー
A new empire. Gotta take back Isolon.
総員第9臨戦態勢に入るそれでは訓練生や新兵も当然だボーイスカウトのピクニックじゃあるまいし特等席で戦争ゲームを見物させてやる余裕はない。
What do you imagine? Yeah, my question is still, what does Japan think the Boy Scouts do? Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts.
何人生きて返してやれるか。イゼルロン要塞に来援を要請。
Surprising to see Dusty in his own command without, like, Yang. He was what, Ace of Hearts?
Is that?
Yep, he's become a pilot. I think it's also our first female pilot, unless I'm really misgendering that person in the second. I can't tell. It's either our first female pilot or...
So how many years have passed?
What do you mean? We started this with the date lessons. It's been a couple of months. He's more than a duke, he's the prime minister. The last month we had was September. Now it's the new year.
They're wearing like regular clothes, I suppose.
Even though it's only been a couple of months lessons, I want to refer to this. He's letting his hair down. Yeah, we see which way the wind's blowing. Don't want to die. Just let me keep some money.
Yeah.
大した人気取りの名人だ。人気取りか。しかしな、彼のやったことを見たまえ。貴族特権の廃止、荘園の解放、民法の制定、税制改革、農民金庫の新設、さらには言論の自由の保障。これらはすべて我々が求めていた改革そのもの。
It's not how you gain the power lessons. It's what you do with it.
だが民衆の実勢によらない改革が改革の名に値するだろうか。
それでも旧体制よりは前進したことに変わりはなかろう。
経済の再建はすでに問題ではない。
I'm sorry, do bolo ties come from Germany? Like, I'm still confused every time I see this.
没収されるために溜め込んでいたかと思えばいささか哀れではあるがな。
ちょうどそれに関連したことで面会を求めている者がおりますが。
Now she's her personal assistant?
Yeah, she's Frederica to him now. Feels like.
Okay,
I don't
who is
remember
Fred? I
him.
don't. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, again, lessons like 200 characters. I'm not gonna remember everybody. I'm surprised Yang allowed this.
Mhm.
人は誰でも自分の死に予感を覚えるものだって本当でしょうか。ユリアン、一度も死んだことのないやつが。
I mean, specifically that he allowed Julian to become a fighter pilot or whatever they call them. Because these guys die like crazy.
発進準備完了。指示願います。了解。
He didn't even get a cool playing card on the outside of his thing?
I mean, he is,
Oh, wait, maybe he does.
rookie. Oh, there goes the carrier.
No, he's just got a stripe. He didn't even get a cool theme.
And then he
Well,
died.
that's where Julian ends.
Yeah.
Was a fun story, Julian.
閣下、起きてください。
なんだい。
新兵の訓練と紹介に出たアッテンボロー少将の艦隊が敵と遭遇したとの連絡が入りました。至急の来園王とのことです。一同会議室に集まっておりますが。
返済寧日なく北地春遅しか。面倒なことだな。ユリアン。
That feels like two different sayings that you just put together.
Yep.
安全だと思ったから送り出したんだがな。
きっと無事で帰ってきますわ。才能も運
Well,
も
it didn't look like he was going to come.
アッテンボロー
He was coming.
Well, they weren't supposed to fight the enemy, I guess. I mean, it was just a training fleet.
Also, yeah, I like that it's
Your
those
shock
bonds can-
about it does not make me confident in your skills.
何を企むのか。各艦、突出や深追いは避け、慎重に行動するように伝えろ。どこに罠があるか知れんぞ。
The trick Yang does all the time. Lure them backwards.
おかげで味方の損害も思ったほどでは。そうか、奴ら恐れてるんだ。は？名前にだよ、ヤン艦隊の。よし、来園が来るまで持たせるぞ。
See, that's the problem. If you're not one of the main characters, anything you do is the wrong move. What are they pulling back? They're afraid. What are they attacking too quickly? They're foolish. You know, it's never a right move.
ゲストアドミラルのお考えは。
増援なさるのであれば緊急にしかも最大限の兵力を持ってなさるがよろしいと考えます。それによって敵に反撃不可能な
Thanks, Weinberger.
味方を収容して速やかに撤収するのです。
That's just the joke about doctrine.
Yeah.
Any war America stands to enter should be a war designed to win.
かえって戦火の拡大を招く恐れがある。ここは全艦隊をもって急行し、敵の増援が来る前に一戦して撤退する。直ちに出動準備にかかってくれ。
That was this drawn during COVID? Why were we in every other seat?
メルカッツ提督には機関に同乗していただきたいのですが、よろしいですか？
承知しました。
わかった。悪いようにはしない。
感謝いたします。
ただし条件がある。私の部下となって統帥本部の一員に名を連ねよ。K の見識と知望を
Doesn't ring a bell.
高く評価しているのだ。
His face doesn't ring a bell.
1年近く矢に置いてきたが年も改まったこと。そろそろ九州への忠誠に区切りをつけても良い頃ではないか。
閣下のご寛容には申し上げる言葉もございません。
Oh, wasn't he the one that he was in charge of the other guard of the house guard when there was an explosion?
Nope. That guy wasn't this old. I almost want to say that was Ansbach. That was Ansbach. Remember that
Yeah,
that was Braunschweig's mansion. That was the whole point of us meeting him. Now, I was hoping it was going to be the guy that we sent to the front who had the book of secrets. Grimmelshausen's guy. That wasn't him either. I think knocking yourself in the head when you're wearing a helmet is the least effective thing you can do. That's right, they're Spartanians.
Hmm?
味方からの連絡はまだか。妨害電波と電磁波の影響が強く、通信は使い物になりませんので。連絡手は出ておりますが、未だ。
まだ戦況はつかめんのか。依然不明。
西暦の20世紀末、電波兵器が異常に突出して発達した時期があった。いわゆるボタン戦争の時代だ。
That's what we called it. He nailed us. It's exactly what happened.
通信や索敵の方法は元に戻ってしまった。普段はまだしも一度戦闘が始まるとひどいものだ。
地上戦では未だに電書鳩や犬を使ったりしますからな。
Oh, you too, huh? We know the Empire does that. They've never talked about them doing it.
そんなつまらんもので死ぬんじゃないぞ、ユリアン。
No worries, I'm taking a break from the fight. The Empire has trams. We've got these shitty little cars. Like using your pinky.
純真な少年は悪の道に引っ込むんじゃない。人聞きの悪いこと言うな。お前みたいにクロスワードばっかやってるのは男としての義務。2機も落としたそうじゃないか。はい、ついてたみたい。
Okay, we're apparently very against crossword puzzles.
だが今度出たら一層気をつけるんだ。こっちの方が生き残りが少ない。その分さらに不利になってきているからね。はい。
See, I would think that they would say something like, "Oh, that means you're actually pretty good. You're one of the ones that made it back."
はい。戦艦ユリシーズです。アムリッツァでは大変だったらしいが、例のトイレに直撃を食らった話ですか。みんな、ユリシーズの分にあやかりたい。
Sometimes the background music sounds like it's from Stargate.
Goes that ship.
Yeah, in space there would be no wind resistance to push you out of the way. You gotta...
Fire, dude.
I don't know, the other guy doesn't seem to know he's there. It's like, target, no target, target, no target. Or, is there an inside man? It almost seemed like he was gesturing, hey, go that way, go that way. Well, Ixnay on the inside man idea.
Yeah. He didn't survive, he was inside, you know.
それぞれの内戦は内戦という一点では同じでありながら全く正反対の結果をもたらした。
一言で言えば帝国は強化され、同盟は弱体化したということですな。
Well, not where I was going to go with that. The Alliance re-established the old guard, and the Empire got a new guard.
48対40対12で一定しておりました。
たくまずして一定していたわけではないぞ。一定させていたのだ。我らフェザーンがな。
ですが、現在の試算では54対30対16となっております。
いや、これではもはや均衡とは呼べん。そこでだ。我がフェザーンの方針を変更することにする。帝国に協力して同盟を滅ぼし、ローエングラム港に宇宙を統一させる。
The New Reich.
無論その後でその新帝国を裏面より支配するのだが。
ですが、そのよろしいのですか。例のご老人のご意向は。
補佐官。私はフェザーンの方
Oh, he is from the Church of.
失礼しました。
I don't know. All he said, well, he said elders, and we know that Pheasant's controlled by the church, but it doesn't mean he's part of the church.
帝国に派遣したボルテックから興味深い報告が届いておる。
Yes, Joseph Stalin. I mean, it makes sense. If Fez is going to back someone to take over everything to then control from behind the scenes, the Empire has, pretty small and rigid top-down hierarchy. Easier than bribing a bunch of politicians. So Julian's just getting lucky by getting the stupidest people around. Yeah, also they didn't fire once, even though they had all the opportunity. See, the card motifs.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, the child in me wanted to make fart noises. Let it rip all the way back to the carrier.
信じられんことだが、やはり連中の半分は素人だ。まさかと思うあまりに敵に時間を与えてしまった。このまま包囲網を絞って全面攻勢に出る。これ以上時間をかけると敵の
Why are we doing encirclement? It's always the worst plan. I mean, it's a 3D environment. You're not going to prevent them from being able to escape. So that guy's gonna die, and he knew it, so...
Oh, he died. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's implying.
Yeah.
That's why he's saying pick up another on another ship, because this one's gonna blow up. Plus, it was a really old guy telling it to a young kid. Yeah, I much prefer Empire fighter craft. To me, the Empire fighter craft are like if you designed a Rubik's Cube into be a fighter. They just like twist and turn in every direction to fire whatever you need to fire.
Reading dice.
You have to say that would be the moment, right? I'm still just a bit at a loss. Why did the Empire attack this training fleet? Because it made it seem like they were attacking Iserlon. And it's like, there's not enough forces to attack Iserlon, so what are we doing?
Yeah, but you're still losing ships and the Empire's getting stronger. I guess it's war of attrition, right? Keep the pressure on the Free Planets Alliance.
Eyes up here, old man.
いや、こいつは驚いた。天賦の際というやつかな。俺の初陣だってこんなに派手じゃなかった。この先どれだけ伸びるか末恐ろしい気がするな。
なに、単に一生分の幸運をまとめて使い果たしただけだろ。これで戦いを甘く見るようになったら。
Why did you let him be a fucking pilot?
本当に器量が問われるのは。
Oh, he wanted to be a soldier, so it was like, yeah, well.
Yeah,
can't
but
stop
literally,
him
let's
to-
put him into the worst position imaginable for survivability.
宇宙歴798年、帝国歴489年。この年の初頭、イゼルローン回廊で行われた戦闘は規模は大きかったものの、単なる国境紛争で終わるはずであった。
Yeah, I don't get why it happened at all.
Oh,
提督、ただいま帰りました。
危ないことをしちゃいけないといつも言ってるだろ。
Again, you had to have known. Again, it's my thing. That guy there and the other pilot
Yeah.
were part of a larger group of pilots that we saw back in the day. Most of them are dead.
mm-hmm.
He's filling in for dead people.
だが
Yeah.
結果としてそれは
144M.
帝国軍による大攻勢の一つの呼び水となる戦いだった。
Where they did not fuck the bed. They did not shit the bed like the Alliance did in the same position. New ending song,
An
too.
outro, new outro as well. Yeah. Okay.
Still got to talk, though. There's not much to
Yeah.
say about the outro. It's just the outro
No.
is what it is.
Mhm.
I mean, I liked seeing the changes, the
Change.
Reformation, and the Empire.
Yeah. It seems a bit too easy, though, considering
Is it?
everything that's
It's a bit too easy considering everything we got to get to that point.
Yeah, oh, we charge now. Oh, yeah, we solved the deficit, gave ready rates.
Because he said
you
he
know.
took everything away from the nobles. It's like, isn't it funny how they kept hoarding all of that shit and then we just confiscated it?
Mhm.
We're at the point now where literally, like, there's what nobility is there left? They're coming to us to give their shit away.
Yeah.
Because one, all the nobles that would have fought against this fucking died. The nobles that would have talked to somebody who was considered to be possibly willing to rise up against this fucking died.
Yeah.
Your choice now is to wait and see and possibly have that turn against you, or...
Oh, let me...
Ooh, that was close. I almost missed that. Let me back up 5 seconds. You said, oh, I'm like, oh shit. Nothing was in place to stop. Yeah. So either you sit back and wait to see what happens and then fall on the wrong side of history, or you preemptively try and get in front and make sure that your position is improved by proactive action, which is what we see happening.
But in this case, it just feels like the free place, the alliance is just doomed because now Fessin and the Empire are on the same side.
Good. Fuck him.
Not good at all.
It's good for me. You chose sides, man. You chose.
So did you.
You chose. Yeah, I chose the Empire. You chose the other corrupt faction. You like to think that the Free Planets Alliance is all that great, but I remind you, from Gaiden, we got the guy who was high up in the Empire who defected and said, this place fucking sucks worse, and wanted to go back. And not for nothing, we've also been with the Free Planets Alliance now for 80-something episodes worth of stuff. It's not great. I don't like it there.
I still prefer it to what used to be the Empire. And
Well,
I
it
doubt
used to be the
those
Empire, it
changes.
still is the Empire.
Well.
Pheasant is planning to call it the New Empire, but that's the only difference in name.
Yeah, you're like, that's not ominous at all.
It's not. It's like literally the naming convention that we're using. The same way that Sieg Heil doesn't mean anything here. It's just Hail Leader.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, it only has a negative annotation in the real world. because of the main time we've all heard it being used.
Yes.
Considering here, God, I don't even remember. I did the date thing before where I said how far into the future we were, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
We're past the 32nd century, I think. No, 31st, 37th century, I think.
Either way, over 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah.
Ironic. I was about to say, because the Nazi salute is based on a Roman salute. So, ironically, going back 1,000 years, you can still see the same things. It's what I said before. I made this allusion to another thing, how separated in time we are versus these sci-fi shows. That it'd be like us referring to a battle in some, nothing nobody would ever really know because it's so far beyond our perception of history. So in this case, their Sieg Heil is just, hey, we all speak German. That's our leader. We're hailing him.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, nobody, I think, has referred to him as the Fuhrer yet.
No.
Which, again, is just leader.
But, the writers would certainly be aware of that.
Yeah, but the writers are also Japanese, which have a very weird tint when it comes to Hitler.
Yeah.
Hitler is still selling toothpaste in some countries. Just, I don't know. It's real funny. Go back to my notes section where I'm pro-empire. But, it's the element that my views about the real world and my views about the anime can be completely different. Because, when I'm playing World of Warcraft, well, I don't play anymore, but just to follow me on this, I'm not about killing all the humans, right? Even though I play Horde. Because if I take that, let's kill all humans and take that to the real life, I become a mass murderer. So I can separate my opinions about games and anime, like how jaded I am about planets blowing up in anime. The first time I saw it in anime, I was like, oh my god, what the fuck are we doing? Not even then, because I'd watched plenty of sci-fi or read sci-fi novels before then. The conceit of a massive explosion is not going to awe me.
I mean, going all the way back to the Lensman series, they literally were crashing one planet against another planet, so...
Yeah, and I guess the first time you watch Gurren Lagann, nothing else is ever going to compare.
Yeah.
Because even in that scene at the end of Gurren Lagann, anyone who's watched the not even recent death battle will know that apparently in the guidebook, those aren't galaxies, those are universes. They're crashing universes against each other, even though they seem to be in the shape of galaxies.
Yeah.
Implying that Super Tenkin by Gurren Lagann is multiversal in scale. Which, if you ever think about, has to be the loneliest mecha you can pilot. You're not only... Look, it's a there's multiple people in that thing, right? But each one of them has to be in their own universe. My cockpit is in a universe all by itself. I could not physically touch another person if I wanted to. I guess only Simone and Nia could, because they're the only ones with perceptual teleportation. Actually, I like how they couch everything in technobabble. But, believable technobabble.
Yeah, so this episode, and essentially it's the aftermath of the two civil wars, basically. It's the roundup. This is where the Empire's at. This is what the Alliance, or more importantly, where Yang is at.
Well, they're starting a new season.
And this is where Pheasant is at and what their plans are, right? Setting up the chairs, as it were, for the next big thing of this season, right?
Yeah, for the new Reich. So I guess my eventual victory. I mean, it could be. You're against it, I guess, on name alone, or you don't believe. I guess your counter that you don't believe that you can have your hands coated in blood and do good things with those hands. But I would counter surgeons.
Yeah, but that would be like killing the patient in order to save the patient kind of scenario.
Yeah, which can't happen.
Or killing another's, not recovering the organs of a already dead patient, or going out to kill the patient to harvest their organs to save this patient.
So you're saying a mass murderer with viable organs that could save 20 other people, we shouldn't kill him and take his organs?
I mean, his death. Actually, I don't believe
his death will save many people. Yes, that's the argument.
I don't believe in capital punishment. That's something done by the state, except for very, very specific.
So you believe in capital punishment, just not done by the state?
No.
You said
I
you don't believe in capital punishment as done by the state, implying that there is a capital punishment you do support, just not done by the state.
Well,
so capital punishment as done by the mob.
No, not even. Because the thing is, there's always a percentage that this person is innocent. And if that's the case, then you should not hand that kind of power to the state, because ultimately the state can always expand capital punishment.
Okay, listen, but we've already covered before the element of economics as weapon or economics as salvation. The money you're spending to keep a person alive for the rest of their life, because there's also a percentage chance that they are guilty. And not for nothing, there's not like a 1% chance they're guilty, 1% chance they're not guilty, and a big old gray area in between. There's probably a lot of information that swings one way or the other. And not for nothing, I understand that a system can be weighted against its people. That there's a lot of mitigating factors in between, which you could get real mixed up on. Just the idea that if you already incarcerated a person, you're probably incarcerating for them for life if you're not going to, pull the trigger. So the idea is that money could be spent elsewhere on other projects which could be saving people's lives. Say, I don't know, funding hospitals or medical research, or, I don't know, helping the homeless or the sick or the needy. You're diverting funds to keep a person who is possibly a killer.
First of all, I think that in terms of overall money, it's such a drop in the bucket that I don't think...
You're saying that, Lessons. How much money does it take to feed a starving family in Africa, right? How many people are dying of malnutrition or starvation every day? So your drop in the bucket is somebody, a child, say somebody who's could not possibly be guilty of anything, versus this guy who is at least over 50% possibly guilty of something.
Yeah, that's trolley problem scenario right there. You're making a connection between one.
I'm not making a connection, Lessons. I'm making a connection by funding and economics. I'm entering into the same field you're already in. I'm not I'm not saying, hey, put the tracks down here, let's do a trolley problem. I'm saying you're already in the field of that's drops in the bucket. And I'm saying, sure, drops in a bucket are very important to a person who's about to die of dehydration. Those drops in the bucket could be put somewhere else, and that could be the difference between we ran out of funding this year or we have funding, let's sign you up on the health program.
Yeah, I think that the connection is a bit tenuous. I mean, we killed this person, so now we have $10,000 to give this other person.
Again, Lessons, we're not talking about we killed him, we suddenly had the funding. We're talking about we killed him, he would have lived 30 more years maybe in the program. That's 30 years of funding that we don't have to allocate to that anymore. That's long-term economic planning. Again,
there's many more easier and more direct ways to solve the problem of starvation that really have nothing to do with killing a person.
I'm using starvation as one of many things. I also said sick, needy, homeless. You name it.
You can, in fact, I would argue that you could save more money by having prevention programs than...
You know what, Lessons? I have another very good source that you would save a lot more money if everyone just became vigilantes. I have this billionaire friend. I heard his name. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want to like throw out names of people I know. His initials are BB. Sorry, BY, BW. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. The name of the initials are BW, but I have a very good authority that if you just become a vigilante, will save a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly pro-billionaire.
Yeah. So, I said my piece about this episode. Do you have anything else to add?
Probably, but that'll come next episode when I have notes and time to think. I mean, this wasn't like a real in-depth episode. I liked the Empire stuff. I didn't give a shit about the training fleet, other than to find out if Julian was going to die or not die. So, yeah, I guess with all that said, once again, I have been Theta, this has been Lessons, we've been Stone-Faced Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stone-Faced Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?